The last shot before peace. The sky above the alien battlefield was burning red. Giant warships filled the space, their cannons firing beams that split the darkness. For hundreds of years, two alien empires had been locked in a war so brutal that even the stars seemed tired. Planets had been destroyed, moons shattered, an entire species had vanished. No one believed peace was possible anymore. No one. Except one human. His name was Commander Alex Carter. Unlike the soldiers and generals around him, Alex wore no heavy armor. His ship was small, old, and unarmed. Drifting silently toward the center of the battle, every radar on both sides picked up the strange human vessel. Alien officers shouted for him to turn back, warning that he would be destroyed. But Alex kept going, calm as if he knew something they didn't. On one side of the battlefield, the Vera Empire, a proud reptilian race, prepared their final strike. On the other side, the Solari Dominion, a tall, silver-skinned species, charged their massive cannons. Both sides wanted to end the war today by wiping the other out. But Alex had sent a message to both leaders just hours ago. It read only one sentence: "Meet me in the neutral chamber, or your people will die within a century, now." In the largest warship of the Vera Empire, the neutral chamber waited. It was a strange place, a round metal hall floating between the two fleets, connected by energy bridges. No weapons were allowed inside. Alex entered first, his boots echoing against the floor. Two sets of doors opened on opposite sides, and the alien king stepped in. The Vera king's eyes glowed like burning coals. The Solari queen's silver hair floated slightly, as if in zero gravity. They glared at each other. Neither wanted to be here, only curiosity and perhaps a strange respect for the humans. Courage kept them from killing him instantly. "You have 1 minute, human," the Vera king growled, his voice deep like rolling thunder. "Speak before I decide to crush your fragile bones." Alex smiled faintly. "I'm not here to beg for peace," he said slowly. "I'm here to show you the future." He raised his wrist, revealing a small glowing device. It pulsed with a soft blue light, and the air around it shimmered. In an instant, a hologram exploded into the center of the chamber. Both leaders saw visions, planets burning, their fleets shattered, their children crying under alien skies. The war didn't end here, it continued. And in just 100 years, both empires were gone, not conquered, erased. The Solari queen narrowed her eyes. "This is a trick," she hissed. "An illusion to make us afraid." Alex shook his head. "This is no trick," he replied. "This is what I saw in the Storm Nebula archives. And I'm the only one who survived to bring this warning." The Vera king's claws tapped the table slowly. "The Storm Nebula is death," he said. "No ship returns from there, not even ours." Alex took a step closer, looking each ruler in the eyes. "And yet here I am," he said firmly. "You fight over old grudges, but you don't see the real danger. Something else is coming. Something older and stronger than both of you combined. If you keep fighting, you will be too weak to survive when it arrives." The chamber fell silent. Only the hum of the force shields could be heard. Both leaders studied the human carefully, as if trying to read his soul. Finally, the Solari queen spoke. "If what you say is true, then end this war now." Her voice was cold, but there was a hint of fear in it. "Give us proof, human, or leave this place and never return." Alex reached into his pocket and placed a small black cube on the table. It was smooth and heavy, with strange golden lines running across its surface. "This is your proof," he said. "It contains the genetic history of your species, and something that will change how you see each other forever." The Vera king stared at the cube. "What could a human possibly know about us that we do not know ourselves?" he demanded. Alex smiled again, but this time it was a sad smile. "That," he said quietly, "is what you'll find out when you're ready." He turned to leave. The guards shifted nervously, unsure if they should stop him. Before stepping out of the chamber, Alex looked back over his shoulder. "This is your last shot before peace," he said. If you take it, you'll live. If you don't, the war will end in your extinction. And with that, the human walked out into the burning red sky, leaving the alien rulers staring at each other. For the first time in centuries, neither one knew what to do. The secret bargain, the alien kings, did not chase after Alex. Instead, they stood in silence for several moments, staring at the strange black cube he had left behind. It pulsed faintly, as if alive. Both leaders felt an urge to touch it, yet neither dared. Finally, the Vera King growled, "Bring him back." The Solari Queen said nothing, but her silver eyes never left the cube. Alex was found in the docking corridor, calmly waiting beside his small ship. He knew they would call him back. Two heavily armed alien guards escorted him to a smaller, private chamber deep within the neutral station. Unlike the grand hall before, this room was dark, with walls covered in shifting holograms of stars. Here, the air felt heavy, as if the galaxy itself was listening. The Solari Queen spoke first. "You said there is a greater danger," she said, her voice low. "What is it, human?" Alex didn't answer immediately. Instead, he placed the cube on the table again and tapped it twice. The golden lines lit up, and the holograms on the walls changed. Now they showed something terrifying, massive shapes moving in the void between galaxies. They were not ships, not creatures, but something in between. They devoured entire star systems, leaving nothing but empty space. "These," Alex said quietly, "are the Eclipse era. No one knows where they came from, but they've destroyed civilizations older than yours. And they are coming here." The Vera King's jaw tightened. "You want us to believe this, human? After centuries of blood between our people?" Alex leaned forward. "I don't want you to believe me. I want you to prepare. But first, you have to end your war." The Queen narrowed her eyes. "And why should we trust you?" Alex tapped the cube again. A series of glowing symbols appeared, floating in the air. "They're not just coming for you," he said. "They're coming for us, humans, Vera. Solari, every world in this sector." The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the cube. Then Alex spoke the words. "That would change everything. I have a plan to unite you," he said. "A plan to give both your empires victory, without either side losing face." The king scoffed. "Impossible," Alex smiled. "That's why I'm here." He reached into his coat and pulled out a silver data chip. "This," he said, placing it next to the cube, "contains the design for a shield strong enough to block an Eclipse-era attack. It's built from Solari energy tech and Vera alloy. Neither side can make it without the other." Both rulers looked at each other, realization dawning. The war had made them enemies, but survival might force them to become allies. The Solari Queen's voice was like ice. "If we agree, human, what do you want in return?" Alex hesitated only for a second. "When the Eclipse era come," he said slowly, "I want command of the combined fleet." The Vera King laughed, a deep, dangerous sound. "You would command US? A single human?" Alex looked him in the eye, unflinching. "I'm the only one who's been inside the Storm Nebula and returned. I'm the only one who knows their patterns, and I'm the only one willing to fight for both of you." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Finally she spoke. "We will consider your bargain," she said. "But first, you must prove you are worthy of leading us." The king's eyes gleamed with challenge. "Yes," he growled. "Let him face the trial of the Storm Nebula. If he survives, then we talk." Alex leaned back in his chair, his lips curved into the faintest smile. "That's exactly where I wanted to go," he said. The impossible test, the Storm Nebula, had a reputation written in blood and wreckage. Its swirling clouds of red and black lightning had swallowed fleets whole. No ship, no pilot, no signal had ever returned. For centuries, it had been a place of whispered curses and ghost stories. Now, the alien rulers had chosen it as Alex Carter's test. If he entered and returned alive, they would listen to him. If he didn't, his name would be forgotten. Alex stood on the launch deck of the neutral station, His small human-built ship, the Horizon's Edge, looked like a toy compared to the massive alien dreadnoughts around it. The Vera King and Solari Queen watched. From above, flanked by guards, both wanted him to fail, yet both were curious. No one could truly predict what would happen inside the nebula. As Alex entered the cockpit, he ran a hand over the controls. This was no ordinary ship. It carried technology that even the aliens did not fully understand. A fusion of human design, alien upgrades, and something older, something Alex never explained. The bay doors opened, and his ship slid silently into space. The storm nebula loomed ahead, vast, endless, alive. Tendrils of glowing plasma reached outward like fingers trying to grab him. His sensors screamed with warnings, but Alex shut them off. Sometimes numbers only made fear worse. The moment he crossed the edge of the nebula, the universe changed. The stars vanished, swallowed by thick clouds of burning color. Lightning arcs danced between dark masses, flashing like the eyes of unseen predators. The ship's hull groaned under the pressure of magnetic storms. Whispers began to fill the cockpit, not through speakers, but inside his head. Human. The voice was neither male nor female. You should not be here. Alex's grip on the controls tightened. I'm not here to die, he muttered. I'm here to find the truth. The lightning grew brighter, forming strange patterns in the clouds. At first, they seemed random, but then they formed symbols. Ancient symbols Alex had seen only once before deep inside the archives of a dead world. They pointed in a direction, a path, hidden within the chaos. Alex followed, weaving through debris-twisted alien ships torn apart by the storms. Some looked thousands of years old, others only days. Yet all of them floated silently, untouched by decay. It was as if the nebula kept its victims as trophies. After hours or maybe minutes, time felt strange here. Alex saw it, a massive asteroid, hollowed out into a fortress. Its surface was covered in carvings that glowed faintly. The whispers in his head grew louder. This is where it began. He guided his ship into a narrow tunnel on the asteroid's surface. Inside there was no storm, no chaos, only silence. An enormous chamber opened before him, filled with glowing pillars. Each pillar held holographic images, stars, worlds, battles long forgotten. This was no simple fortress. It was a memory vault. Alex stepped out of his ship, his boots touching alien stone older than any human civilization. As he walked between the pillars, the images shifted. He saw the Vera and Solari as they were. Thousands of years ago, not enemies, but allies. Their armies fought side by side against an enemy that blotted out the stars. The same shapes he had shown the rulers before the eclipse era. One pillar flickered, revealing something stranger still. Genetic strands twisted in holographic form, side by side. The DNA of the Vera and Solari glowed, and then merged, revealing they were not just allies. They were connected, one ancient species, split into two over time. Their war was built on a lie. Before Alex could study more, the ground shook violently. The chamber's walls began to crack. The asteroid was breaking apart. The whispers in his head turned into urgent commands. Leave now, human. They are coming. Alex ran back to his ship as the ceiling collapsed. His engines roared to life just as the entire tunnel behind him imploded. Outside, something massive moved within the nebula. Not a storm, not a rock. Something alive. He didn't stop to look. He punched the engines to full power, following the hidden path back toward open space. When the ship burst free of the nebula, the alien fleets were still waiting. His vessel was scorched, the hull damaged, but Alex Carter had returned, and he had proof that could end a war centuries old. The truth in the nebula. When Alex's battered ship docked at the neutral station, the alien fleets watched in tense silence. Some had already prepared celebrations for his death. Certain no human could survive the storm nebula, but the sight of the Horizon's Edge limping back into port forced everyone to rethink their bets. 2 guards escorted Alex to the high chamber where the Vera King and Solari Queen waited. Their faces betrayed nothing, but their eyes searched him for answers. Without a word, Alex placed the black cube on the table, its golden lines glowing brighter than before. The cube pulsed once, then projected images across the entire chamber. First came the swirling storms of the nebula, then the hollow asteroid fortress. The rulers leaned forward as they saw archives of their ancestors, Vera and Solari soldiers, fighting together against a cosmic darkness. The footage shifted to genetic sequences, twisting strands of light merging into one. The truth hit the room like a silent explosion. "You are not enemies," Alex said quietly. "You are one people, divided by time, lies, and those who wanted war." The Solari Queen's silver eyes narrowed. "This is impossible," she whispered. But the images did not lie. Every detail, every test in the archives matched perfectly. Their bloodlines were cousins, split apart over tens of thousands of years. The Vera King's claws tightened on the table. "If this is true," he growled, "then someone made us forget." "Yes," Alex replied, "and the same someone has been waiting for you to destroy each other." The room fell silent, the weight of centuries pressing down on them. But before the Queen could speak, the chamber doors slid open with a hiss. A figure stepped inside, an armored Vera general, flanked by silent soldiers. The general's eyes glowed with a strange, unnatural light. "Enough of this human's lies." The general barked. He raised a weapon, sleek and sharp, aimed directly at Alex's head. The guards froze, unsure whose orders to follow. It was the king's own general, but the move felt wrong. Alex didn't flinch. He had seen this before, the same glow in the eyes of soldiers in the nebula's holograms, the same influence that had turned allies into killers. "You're not acting on your own," Alex said, his voice calm but sharp. "Something's controlling you." The general snarled and pulled the trigger. A bolt of energy shot across the room, but the Queen's guard threw up a shield just in time. The blast ricocheted into the wall, leaving a smoking scar. Chaos erupted. The king roared an order. The Queen shouted for the doors to be sealed. The general fought like a creature possessed, moving faster than any normal Vera. It took 6 soldiers to bring him down. When they finally removed his helmet, his face was pale, veins glowing faintly with black light. He was alive, but something had burned into his mind. The Queen's voice was ice. "This is the same power you spoke of, isn't it human?" Alex nodded. "The Eclipsera have been here longer than you think. They've been whispering in your ears for generations, keeping your war alive so you never look outward." The king slammed his clawed fist onto the table. "Then it ends now," he said. "Tell us what comes next, human." Alex looked at them both. His voice was steady, but his words carried a warning. "What comes next will be harder than war." Betrayal at the Peace Summit. The Grand Peace Summit was unlike anything the galaxy had seen in centuries. The neutral station's central hall had been expanded, its walls lined with banners from both the Vera Empire and the Solari Dominion. Hundreds of alien diplomats, military leaders, and citizens filled the glowing chamber. Outside, the fleets hung in a cautious truce, their cannons silent for the first time in living memory. At the center of the hall stood a raised platform. Alex Carter waited there, the black cube in his hands. This was the moment to reveal the truth to every leader, every witness, every historian present. One final push, and the war would end. The Vera King entered first, his heavy footsteps echoing against the polished floor. Then the Solari Queen glided in, her silver hair reflecting the bright lights above. When they stood beside Alex, the crowd fell silent. The cube pulsed in his grip, as if it knew this moment mattered. "My people," Alex began, his voice steady but firm. "For centuries, you have fought each other, spilling blood for a cause you never understood. Today, I bring proof that your history has been twisted. You are not enemies. You are family." Gasps spread through the chamber. The cube activated, projecting the images from the nebula's archives. The Vera and Solari fighting side by side in the ancient war, the genetic codes merging into one. The evidence was undeniable, but before the crowd could react, a sudden flicker ran through the lights. The air felt colder. Alex's instincts screamed that something was wrong. From the upper balcony, a shadow moved. A figure in dark armor leapt down. Landing silently on the platform, it was not Vera, not Solari. Its armor was smooth, black, and seemed to drink in the light around it. Its faceplate was blank, featureless, except for two narrow slits glowing with a dim white light. Without a word, it drew a blade made of pure energy and swung for Alex's chest. The king's guards moved, but the attacker was faster. Alex barely dodged, the blade slicing a deep line across the floor where he had been standing. The queen shouted an order, her personal guards rushing forward. The attacker moved like liquid shadow, dodging every strike. Each motion was precise, almost mechanical. Alex's eyes widened. This was no ordinary assassin. He had seen such a form before, buried deep in the nebula's archives. It was an Eclipse-era infiltrator. The crowd erupted into chaos. Some ran for the exits. Others drew weapons despite the station's no-combat laws. The king roared, charging forward himself, his claws sparking against the assassin's blade. For the first time, the infiltrator was forced back. Alex saw his chance. He slammed his hand down on the cube, locking the holograms in the air for all to see. "Remember this," he shouted over the noise. "No matter what happens, the truth is, here your real enemy is not each other." The assassin suddenly changed tactics, leaping toward the cube. It wanted to destroy the evidence. Alex threw himself in the way, the blade passing dangerously close to his neck. Pain shot through him, but he held his ground. The king landed a crushing blow, sending the infiltrator sliding across the floor. The queen's guards trapped it in a force field cage. The dark figure froze, then tilted its head in an eerie, inhuman motion. "You cannot stop what is coming," it said, its voice echoing like multiple whispers. Then its armor dissolved into black dust, leaving nothing behind. Silence fell over the hall, broken only by the cube's faint hum. Every eye turned to Alex. The truth had been seen. The assassin had been revealed, and for the first time, the galaxy understood. This was not the end of war. It was the beginning of a far greater one. Asterisk, the reward no one could believe. The peace summit did not end the way anyone expected. The assassin was gone. The proof had been shown, and the galaxy now knew the truth. Vera and Solari were not enemies by birth, but family by blood. The war could end, if their leaders truly wanted it. The Vera king stood before the crowd, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. "This human," he growled, "has walked through death itself to bring us truth." The Solari queen stepped forward, her silver eyes fixed on Alex. "And for that," she said softly, "he will be honored as no outsider ever has." Two guards approached, carrying a heavy case made of black crystal. When they opened it, the hall gasped. Inside lay a crown unlike any other, crafted from Solari star metal and Vera war gold. It shimmered as if it held pieces of starlight trapped inside. "Kneel." "Alex Carter," the queen commanded. He did, feeling the cold metal touch his head as the crown was placed upon it. "In the name of the Solari Dominion, I grant you the title Lord of Two Suns," she declared. The king's deep voice followed. "And in the name of the Vera Empire, I give you command over the twin worlds of Kareth and Verin." The crowd erupted in shock. Two entire planets, powerful and resource-rich, placed under the rule of a single human. It was a gift beyond anything Alex could have imagined. But the reward did not end there. The queen gestured, and from the shadows, a tall figure stepped forward. She was unlike any Vera or Solari Alex had seen. Her skin shimmered like silver glass. Her eyes held twin golden rings, and faint lines of light moved under her skin, as if she carried a star inside her. "This," the queen said, "is Serenia, the last of the starbound guardians." Serenia bowed her head to Alex. "I am bound to your service," she said, her voice like soft music. "For 1,000 years, I have waited for the one chosen to carry the crown of two suns. Alex studied her, a strange unease stirring in his chest. What exactly does a starbound guardian do? He asked. Serenya's golden eyes met his, and her answer was simple. I keep you alive. Until the day the darkness comes. The king and queen exchanged a look. There was something in their silence, something unspoken. Alex realized this was not just a gift. It was a warning. The galaxy might celebrate him now, but somewhere beyond. The stars, the Eclipsera were watching, and they would not let him keep his crown without a fight. The beginning of a greater war peace came to the galaxy faster than anyone believed possible. The banners of the Vera Empire and Solari Dominion now flew together on every world. Warships once aimed at each other now patrolled side by side, and, for the first time in centuries, the stars felt calm. But Alex Carter knew calm was a lie. Every victory feast, every speech, every handshake between leaders, he could feel the shadow of what was coming. Serenia, the starbound guardian, never left his side. She spoke little, but her golden eyes often turned toward the dark edges of the sky, as if watching something no one else could see. One night on the balcony of his new palace on Kareth, Alex stood alone. The twin suns had set, leaving the world bathed in silver. Light from its moons, the wind carried the distant hum of celebration from the capital. Yet above the noise, he heard something else, a faint, almost impossible whisper in the air. Human. It called, "You have delayed us, but you cannot stop us." Alex froze, scanning the stars, and then he saw it, just for a moment, a ripple in the darkness between constellations. Like space itself had shifted. It was gone as quickly as it appeared, but his heart was already pounding. Serenia stepped onto the balcony, her expression unreadable. "You heard them, didn't you?" she asked. Alex nodded slowly. "They're closer than I thought," he said. She looked toward the horizon where the two suns would soon rise again. "Closer. And hungrier," she whispered. "They are moving in the void, gathering their strength. And when they come, they will not send assassins or shadows. They will send armies that blot out the stars." Alex's hand tightened on the balcony rail. "I ended one war," he said, his voice steady. "But it looks like my real fight hasn't even started." Far above, in the cold silence of space, the ripple returned. And this time, it didn't vanish. It spread wider, darker, until an entire cluster of stars winked out like dying candles. The Eclipsera had begun to move, and the galaxy's fragile peace was about to shatter.